Cashflow Diary Podcast, episode 559.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Cashflow Diary Podcast, the podcast that teaches you insider tips, tactics, and strategies for creating leverage streams of cash flow into your life. Learn from top-performing entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, and thought leaders from across the globe as they share their secrets to success. Like what you learn on this and other Cashflow Diary podcast episodes? Go to learninvestingnow.com and sign up to receive powerful tips and information that will help you succeed as an entrepreneur and investor. Now, here's your host, investor, entrepreneur, business owner, educator, speaker, author, and master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game, Jay Massey.
Hey guys, hopefully you guys are there. Everybody is ready to go. We are, I think we're live. I think we've actually done it, where we've got all the right bells and whistles and things going at this exact moment. So hopefully everything is actually working properly. You should hear me. And as you can see, we have a new dial-in number and line. We're testing this line. So if you've got questions, now would be the time to go ahead and dial 417-352-2274. Let us know where you're from and would love to answer those questions, whatever they may be. So let's see. Today, hold on. I'm looking for the questions or comments from our Facebook group. So for those of you who I've not met before, hi, my name is Jay, and what we're going to do is answer your questions. So at Cashflow Diary, we've been teaching individuals to do real estate and real estate related strategies for quite some time. And that's what we're still doing. We tend to focus right now primarily on short-term rentals and kind of like that. And at the same time, we know that there's a number of people who have questions, whether they're real estate, business, or what have you related. And we like to make sure that we make ourselves available, specifically me, so that all of our students and occasionally you guys from around the globe get an opportunity to ask questions. So being that we are testing new technology, I'm in a new studio and we are doing our best to continually make things better. Would love to hear from you guys and any particular questions that you might have. I know those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube and hold on. I think I forgot to make the other places live. I sure did. 1 second. I just realized, can I just add them? I hope so. I can. Perfect. So I am turning on all the other places as we speak because I totally forgot. So now so hopefully those of you watching at various parts of there's now even more of you watching from many different places. Welcome, and we look forward to assisting you. Yes, it looks like we're at Periscope. We've got YouTube going. We got our Facebook page going. We have a number of locations going right now. So I see that people are beginning to dial in, which is great. And if you've got a question, you definitely want to be the person to go in there and so that when it comes time for us to get to the questions, you can get your shot. So I don't know how many calls we'll be able to take today, but we'll do our best. And for those of you in our Facebook group, of course, I haven't forgotten about you as well. And I must say this, my mom has a special request, and I told her that I would help. I'm being a good son. So this is your shot. Some of you, one of you, this is going to be your shot to help me be a good son. All right. So hopefully that's something you're excited about. Anyway, so in fact, let me just go ahead and knock that one out because we're going to have to talk about it a number of times. Is that my mom has a desire to go to Atlanta. She wants to go to Atlanta during Labor Day weekend, specifically August 30th through September 2nd. And she asked me, hey, son, do you know anybody that in that area? And I'm like, yes, I know a few people. And I was talking about you. Yes, you, the ones of you in Atlanta. So she wants to come out to Atlanta and she's never been. She wants to go, her and a couple of her friends, I believe it says 2, could have been 3, and wants to come out there. And I'm like, cool, let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can find someone who is operating a good short-term rental, and specifically, please be following the system. Oh, that would be so bad if you're not. And I'm looking for someone who wants to help my mom out. So for those of you in the Facebook group, you should see her tagged, so you're able to just contact her. If you're not in the Facebook group, that's fine. Just send us a message via our Facebook page over at Cashflow Diary with Jay Massey, or send in an email to info@cashflowdiary.com. Again, I would prefer it be one of our students because I know the quality and the system that you're going to provide because we taught it to you. So, that's all I'm going to say about that right now. My volume is low. You sound super low. I sound low. Do I still sound low? Everybody says I sound low. I don't know. Hold on. I am flipping on a different screen here. Okay. Hold on. All right. I think I'm talking into the correct microphone and I shouldn't sound low anymore. But if I do, let me know. Thanks, Jay, for this weekly cast. Van Dang, you are quite welcome. Kendra from Hawaii, how are you? You're still watching. Russell, what's up? Thank you. Tamara, how are you doing? Peter, what's going on? Rafa, how are you guys? We are making our first unit listing tomorrow. Robin, when should I set up Wheelhouse and Smart B&B? Robin, something like that. You guys want to do that now? I mean, if the first listing, all of that happens at the same time. So if you are ready to put your listing live and put it on, go ahead and get that done and make that happen. All right. So that's better. Thank you, Tamara. We're doing our best. And what's really cool, hopefully you guys are excited. I'm excited about this. Is the fact that I knew exactly what button to press now. So, previously it was, well, you just got to deal with it. Now I at least know what buttons to press. So I've had to learn lots of things. Anyway, let's go. We'll go to the line and get a couple of calls. And who is this? Let's see. Oh, how do you do this? Okay. Hello? Oh, hold on. I don't know what that means. All right. So now I'm learning how to work our call-in line. Give me a second. Okay. It says, okay, so this I should unmute. So let's do that. Hello, I believe this is Svetlana. Do I have that right?
Yes. Hi, Jay. I'm
awesome.
on the line.
How are you?
Good. Have questions for you.
Yes.
During the question and answer session.
Absolutely. Were you the same Svetlana I talked to on Saturday?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Cool. Go ahead.
Should I unmute myself or how to do it? My first
Oh, no, you're
time
live right
on
now. You're live right now.
Oh, okay.
Everybody can hear you. We're all good. How can I help?
Can I ask you a question right away?
Yes.
Okay. Jay, what is the best way to attract guests who would stay 1 month or longer?
Got it. So, great question. And this is a question that we get frequently, especially as ordinances change or things change for everybody. When it comes down to length of stay, being able to attract a person who wants to stay a certain length of time has a lot to do with A, what platform you're on, and B, your pricing pattern, specifically your pricing strategy. For example, the longer guests I have found in our research, we have found that longer guests tend to come from, honestly, we get more of them from other platforms other than Airbnb. So I would say the HomeAway as well as Booking.com. And you must also understand how each of those sites not only markets to their customer database, but how they display your listing. For example, as I've said before, Booking.com is a discount marketplace. And because they're a discount marketplace, they tend to focus on how much of a discount you're giving in terms of prioritizing where you are in their search engine. So if you're on an Airbnb, then you've got to be closer to the true rate, but still do the same kind of idea to where, say, you're pricing yourself 25%. Yeah, 25% more. So I'm making up numbers real fast, but let's pretend that you wanted $6,000 a month. That's what you actually wanted. I would take that number divided by 0.75, and then I would give a 20% discount or so, somewhere there, 22% discount on, say, an Airbnb. On a Booking.com, I would do that same thing, except I would probably divide by an even larger number, so maybe a 0.65 or a 0.68, and still give a 20, 21, 22% discount, again, for the monthly stay. Also, though, while you can do all of those things, the absolute, bar none, shut the door best way to get a 30-day reservation is going to be working with insurance companies. That's literally the best, because the insurance claims adjuster, most of the time, it's usually the house is flooded. Sometimes it's fire, but the homeowner is being displaced for some reason. And when it gets to that level, it's at least 30 days, often longer. Those are by far the best, that's the best market to be in, and so that you can make that happen. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you, Jay. Would
No
you
problem.
recommend to use Craigslist for this purpose?
Okay, if you're going to go down the Craigslist route, you're going to need to also then have more screening in place. But no, it's not. I have not recommended anyone try Craigslist for that purpose.
Okay, but any stay
Okay.
over 30 days, should I have lease agreement signed or just let them stay as on
I'm sorry, say that again?
Should I have lease agreement signed between me and tenants? No.
Got it. And again, that's going to come down to how. All right. So one, always remember, the one thing I am not for anybody is ever their attorney. And there are times where it can make sense. It just also depends. For example, if I'm doing a direct contract with a corporation, I'm definitely going to make sure that the corporation is where I'm housing their employees or something of that nature. That can make a ton of sense. But sometimes this person could be someone you know from church, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't. But at the same time, I have seen and know of instances where that did not occur, even though they were staying longer. But to avail yourself or to protect yourself from a potential tenants' rights issue, that's probably a good idea. So definitely thanks for giving us a call. I'm going to get to the next caller now, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, let me see. Let me do this one more time. Let's see. Oh, boy. Okay, so I press that button. And then what in the world? Do I press this one? I do. Okay, got it. So, and then, oh no, that I just muted them. Sorry. Hey, this is Jay. Who's on the line?
Hey, Jay, it's Kendra.
Hey, Kendra. Okay, we've been hanging out a lot today. I like it. Go ahead. How can I help?
Okay, so first part of my question is, we had a guest of a guest that he was included in part of our current reservation.
Uh-huh.
They actually left already. Anyways, there was like a noise disturbance. We addressed it to them, and then they fixed it. Sorry, I have a baby.
That's fine. I have 4 children. I understand.
He's singing the alphabet.
Hey, no time like the present.
What happened was, we addressed the problem, and they went out. They were kind of drunk. They came back, and they had said some not so nice things on the doorbell camera that we had caught. And thank goodness we have that system because I could kind of see it. But I guess my question on that note is, what is considerable like a automatic cancel when it comes to a person's reservation as far as going against the house rules? Because I know like what is considered as an offense, giving a warning, or just they do something and it's an automatic cancel? Like, what is your threshold of tolerance when it comes to that?
Honestly, it has a lot to do with how they respond to us holding them accountable. So let's just say we had this very similar situation. Basically, what you are describing to me, if someone first causes a disturbance, I get that. And then if we bring it to their attention and then they go a belligerent route, now we have a completely different issue. And that is likely to get them closer, especially if you've got it on camera, which makes it really easy.
Yeah.
It now becomes this is subject to cancellation or immediate cancellation without the ability for any sort of a refund. However, inside of our house rules, there's one of the things that we do put in there. And again, if you just copied I know you're inside the student group, we have the house rules listed. If you just want to copy what I've got in there, it'll probably help you tremendously. Because that pretty much outlines, because you can, when you see the words at our discretion, that means either I'm going to charge you or we're going to warn you, or if we've already tried to charge you and you still kept doing it, you're now gone. That's really what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. It usually goes warning, fee, bye-bye. And sometimes people skip right over that. Like, for example, if they start trying to tamper with the safety equipment or security equipment, it skips all over that and it's a bye-bye. It's an automatic, you got to go. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thanks for calling.
Perfect. All right, thanks. Bye.
All right, bye. Let's see. I believe this is, actually, I'm not sure who this is. Who am I speaking with? Where are you from? Oh, nope.
I don't know, Jay, am I on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I was still in the holding queue.
Nope,
Anyway,
nope. You're not on the holding queue at this moment. Hold on 1 second. We're learning our rhythm here, so I'm gonna talk to Megan for a second because I know she can hear me. Megan, there's a place for notes on each of them. If you can put the notes, don't put it in Slack. I can't. The problem is that I can't switch, even though I see that you're typing it. If you put the notes inside on the studio listing, it'll help me see it, like right above their name. There's a little thing towards the end. If you put the note that, yes, right there. There you go. Got it. Woohoo! Now I'm good. Thank you, Megan. Anyway, so Nevin, what you got?
Actually, my name's John.
You know what? She wrote that. She did. John, you are correct. We're having all kinds of fun.
I had a nice conversation with her, so yeah, I'm sure she did write it.
And she did. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I called him Nevin, and I'm reading John, and obviously the two are not even close to the same. But anyway, forgive me. New system. We're working it out, though. How can I help? Hey guys, thanks for listening as always, and I'm glad that you continue to support with each and every download and subscription and share. One of the things that I want to ask you, though, is where are you listening to me from right now? I know some of you, maybe you're on a treadmill, maybe you're washing dishes, maybe you're walking that dog, and some of you are actually in a vehicle driving right now. One of the fun things that you can do to get some of your time back is begin to living a car-free existence. But even then, it can be a little complicated. So one of the things that I want you to do is I want you to go over to Zipcar. Go to joinzipcar.com/cashflow diary. It's a way that I am able to still go get a car just for a few hours, very, very simply, so that if I have a lot of errands to run and sheets to drop off and running to the short-term rentals, or if I just want to go for a long trip up to LA and back, etc., I can rent a car for a very, very short period of time. And the cool part is I don't even have to pay for any gas. Again, go to joinzipcar.com/cashflow diary.
Well, Jay, first time calling you, so this is a new experience for me too. I'm new to the short-term rental program, but
Okay.
I've had many years experience in fix and flip and long-term rentals.
Okay.
We're outside of Chicago, and we just ran into an opportunity where there's a gentleman that's wanting to lease out a fourplex to us, and
Okay.
the units are 2 units are 4-bedroom, 2 units are 3-bedroom. He's had a lot of success in short-term rentals in New York, and he wanted to do some work in Chicago, so he bought a few buildings, and I think he's having some management problems, but he's renting the units out right now as individual bedroom hostels. He's got queen beds in all the units.
Oh, okay.
And he'd really like to be able to rent the entire four, but I'm not really comfortable with hostels with the one. There's no market for 4-bedroom or 3-bedroom in that area. It would be a hard one to short-term rental. So the only way that he's looking at it also is rooms for rent. Now, there's some pluses and minuses, but I want to get your feedback on this because I'm not convinced about hostels.
Yeah, well, again, I'm going to say 2 things, and it's going to sound like I'm talking out of both sides here. But one, we've had students go down this route, and what I can tell you is, bar none, they're typically some of the most profitable, most revenue generating ways to do it. The more you can divide and slice and dice that real estate, you have what is known as your utilization ratio going really, really, really high. So your occupancy is, you're just able to command, command such high revenue. However, here's the double-edged sword to it. It requires significantly more on-site management and significantly more services. For example, cleaning is not the same, and the common area spaces, so the common kitchens and the bathrooms, is not the same. And managing that process, and again, that's not to say it can't be done, but in order to do it well, and if you've never done it, I'm going to say it's at least a 3, if not 4-month process for you to get used to the rhythm of how it's done. And probably the reports that I've heard from our students who have gone down this road, pricing and competition is cutthroat there, because they are already selling, the rooms at $20 and $30 and at most $40 a night. And yeah, so pricing is, which then, has you have some challenges with being able to screen properly, right, at certain price levels. And then you also have the issue of are you able to take walk-ins? Because that's one of the ways that you're going to be able to get the occupancy and revenue that's necessary. I say all that to say you would need someone who's willing to physically be on site almost 24/7 with the number of bedrooms or number of beds that you're talking about at this moment. That's what I'm hearing. And there's usually, and again, I know for about DC, but I'm not sure about Chicago, but I can only imagine it would be the same. There's usually a completely separate license required for that, but I'm going to assume that the guy already knows that part, so that's probably not something he's concerned about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he's worked a couple of backdoors to be able to get the licensing up and running for himself.
Sure.
His rate is extremely good, but his occupancy he's not showing me other than what I'm seeing on Airbnb. That he's charging $100 a room.
$100 a room or $100 a bed, because those are 2 different things. I just want to be clear.
Well, they're the same there because he's only got queen beds in every room.
Okay, got it. Well, then, yeah. All right, yeah, that makes sense. Then that's fine. That's a little bit less management intensive than what I had pictured in my head. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, there is a hostel not too far from there. It's about a mile closer to the ballpark, and they rent beds, and they're like 8 beds, 6 beds per room, and their rate is their rate is what you were talking about, $20 or $30 a bed,
right.
But we also understood we'd have to have some live-in type management there.
Right.
And what we were picturing is if we left the single bed per room, then they were only managing basically 11 rooms, 11 beds. So what we imagined is one manager taking care. We do all the off-site managing, the check-in, check-out,
Sure.
and all that stuff. But the cleaning and the interaction with the people and entertainment director kind of a thing would all be in-house. Now, does that make sense? One person could actually do that, because that was a question
Just
in our
gonna
mind.
what the really
shopping for hostel.
Yeah, the big issue here is going to come down to the floor plan and actually how that floorplex is divided more than anything. And unfortunately, obviously, I don't have access to it. But my suspicion is you're going to be fine. But again, I don't know. Because see, in your best case scenarios, what happens is that you have your central meeting areas surrounded by all of the bedrooms. And if that's in general what you have with, then you should be fine. But if there are doors separating actual physical units, which is what I would suspect the fourplex to look like, then maybe not.
Right.
Maybe not so much. So,
well, it's got the fourplex is built just like a 4-unit apartment building. You've got,
yeah, exactly. So that's where I'm leaning towards.
4 bedrooms. So
that's where I'm leaning towards.
Yeah,
you actually may not need as much on-site management as much as you will need access control. So you're, in terms of locking each individual door, making sure that's remotely done, and inside of if you have any sort of common internal hallways, that's where you would handle any sort of laundry issues, because that's the other thing I could see that could be an issue. So each unit would have its own kitchen. Each unit should have its own bathroom. And if it's I can imagine that wouldn't be overly difficult to deal with, although you probably still would need cleaning every day or every other day at the longest. But yeah, I think that could work out. That could totally work out.
Where do we go? Where do we shop around for staffing for hostel?
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Facebook groups, but
that's the hard part.
I don't know where to look.
Yep, that makes 2 of us, because all of the students that have ever done it, every time they've tried to go find it, what ended up happening is that someone who ended up staying there used to run one or offered to help or something of that nature, and that's how they ended up with them. There was no like resume process or something like to find that person. That's a good question, my friend, and unfortunately, John, I can't help you on that one.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of different hostel management sites, but they're all for Europe and Central Asia and things like that, but nothing here for the Midwest. So I didn't know if I was missing something or if I was on kind of uncharted territories.
Yeah. Nope. Makes no sense. It makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So, thanks for giving us a call, though. Let us know how it goes.
I will. Thank you very much for taking.
No problem. Talk to you later. All right. Who do we have here? Bye. Shelton, it looks like.
Hey. Hello.
So your wife calls, then you call. Did y'all decide? Did you plan that one?
Oh, no. I'm just bored at work. So I'm like, oh, man, I need something to do. Let me call Jay and talk story with Jay.
Sure. How can I help?
So my question is about damage waiver fees.
Okay.
So first one would be for us, a 30-day market. If we just stick with our damage waiver would be $59, or it could be 30 days or 60 days.
I would put it closer to $250. I would actually increase that to close to maybe even as much as $300. Actually, because the entire intent behind the damage fee waiver. So let's pretend if you were at $59 and you were in a traditional market, you have the ability to, in theory, get 5, if not 6 reservations, which would give you somewhere close to $300, if not $360 or so, depending on what split of your reservations are coming from a home away versus a Airbnb. And because of that, because of that, then basically what I would consider is making up for that potential lost revenue if I was in a 30-day market with a $250 or $350 damage fee waiver.
Damn it. Oh, okay. And so on Airbnb, there's nothing we can do for that then. There's no damage waiver. There's nothing alternate.
The problem, you
route?
could, but what happens is that when you go through the process with Airbnb, as they get to the checkout, it gets added to the cleaning fee. So it's not a separate line item. So on all the other platforms, you can make it a separate line item. So it's really clear what that is and that it is specifically not the cleaning fee. And the challenge is because what happens is that by the time they get to the checkout, what you'll get messages saying, why is your cleaning fee $500? That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Got it. Okay. Yep. Got it.
So that's the challenge there.
Right on. Thanks.
No problem.
Right on. Thank you, Jay.
Yep.
Okay.
You're welcome. Bye. Awesome, guys. I'm pretty excited at like how this is working. We're figuring out our systems today. Let me get over to the Facebook group because I see I see people asking questions there too. And Darius, you got some that's interesting. I'm glad that you did catch us live today. I am definitely glad that you caught us live. So this is good. Let's see who we got. Russell, Robin, better, freezing. Daryl. Now that Airbnb is currently favoring, I I haven't forgotten, Megan. I know. Now that Airbnb is currently favoring businesses as hosts versus individuals, for those of us who have multiple hosts account, would you recommend that as we rearrange our inventory based upon data, not guessing, should we add all new leases to the primary hosting account or still keep units diversified on accounts? I have started putting all of mine on one, Ladero. That's the best. I haven't heard anything negative to that situation, but that's where it's going. Second question. When you have your team document income from resolution claims, do you find value in having them add the unit to the spreadsheet in which the claim was submitted? Yes, because if there's a particular unit that keeps having a very type of issue, maybe we're pricing that unit wrong and it keeps attracting the wrong thing. Third question. When taking screenshots of nearby locations on Google Maps, do you do the driving distance or the walking distance depending on a certain walking distance time? I will often do driving distance because I'm usually using that for trying to show Uber, and Uber is a walking thing. Okay, Ladero, last question. Corporate rental specific websites. Are there any that you have tried that work well? We've looked at CHPA and corporate housing by owner.com. Yeah. And the answer is no. I believe if I had tried something that worked, I would have shared it with you, my friend. That's how we roll. If you've got a question, do me a favor, call in 417-352-2274. Would love to talk to you. We have Nevin from Minnesota. How are you? How are you doing, sir?
Doing good, Jay. How are you doing?
I am learning how to do all this technology stuff, so we're having fun.
Okay, that's great. So, Jay, I started my short-term rental unit in the month of April.
Yes.
And so far, the booking has been good. I also attended the analytics training, and I was trying to interpret the numbers on Smart BNB, but I just don't know what action to take because currently I'm kind of freaking out because September, it's pretty much open. I have an open calendar right now, and it's strange because during the fall, this is a good time, season time, and
got it.
September is completely open. I just don't know what action to take moving forward.
Got it. So this great question makes perfect sense. Very common for people to get freaked out about their calendar, especially as you go through high to low season, because you're like, dude, what's going on? Now, with that being said, let me tell you the metrics you need to pay attention to. The metrics you need to pay attention to is your inside Smart BNB. They specifically call it early versus late bookings, I believe. Hold on, let me pull it up. I'll pull it up real fast. And come on, computer. Because there it is. Come on. I need.
The maximum is 88 days.
No, 88, early versus late bookings is what they call it. I'm sorry, the what?
Yes. It's the maximum I have is 88 days for one, and another one for 78. Everything is under 30 days, 20 days. So, in early versus late.
Okay, yeah. So let me. You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up on my screen to make it a little bit easier. As soon as I remember which button I'm supposed to press, give me a second. There it is. So, whoops, wrong. I'm trying to get to. Well, there it is. All right. So, basically, so when you're looking at an early versus late, like I'm showing you right here, what you're trying to figure out is, and maybe on a per unit basis, even, you need a longer date range. So if I remember correctly, this is your first September that you'll be going through. Is that correct? Okay. So, this, what I'm about to say is not going to make you feel any better, but this is we don't know what we don't know about bookings through September in Minnesota, where you are. It is Minnesota, right? Yeah. We don't know what we don't know about bookings in Minnesota, where you are at this particular moment in time. So we're doing our best. We're making a best guess based upon the data. So on your early versus late, as you can see, like if you're looking at, or like go back later, look at the recording, or if you're looking at it now, you can see that I have a significant amount of people who book within 20 days, and even more so as it gets under 10, and even more so as it gets under 7. If that's a pattern that you see for yourself, then you should not be concerned. If, however, your pattern is more of a 20 to 40 days or 40 to 60 days, then it is a hint that we may have a seasonal adjustment to your pricing type of issue. Does that make sense? So, and that's how you'll be able to tell with data, because you'll have collected data that can give you an understanding that, oh, what's going on is that the booking lead time is, because the booking lead time is so much further in advance. And if my calendar is still vacant more than 20, 30, 40 days out, I need to actually adjust something. And what I most likely need to adjust, the most likely thing that you need to adjust is what I call your discount curve, because during high season, you can keep your discount curve really, really close. You don't have to discount until the absolute last minute. However, as you transition into a lower season, you may need to discount further out in advance in order to maintain similar levels of occupancy and revenue. Does that make sense? That's what that is like the first thing that I would be focused on 100%, because that, my suspicion is that's where the issue is. But I just don't know what I don't know, because we can't compare same store sales. Remember, I don't know what Minnesota in that particular house or apartment looks like compared to last. So basically this September is really going to be your baseline so that you have an idea of how to prepare and what to expect. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
And it's scary to go through that baseline, but here's the good news is you're not going through it by yourself. There's a lot of us here, and we're here to support you as best we can.
Okay. And my second question is,
go for
it. The additional things that we provide are guest value. Like, for example, we provide, because it's a 2-bedroom, we provide additional parking, early check-in. We provide those facilities for a fee, of course. But you were talking about internet, boost. We specific time we say, and then we ask them to pay extra for a higher speed internet. Currently, I'm connected with Brandon's modem.
Yes.
Is he the one that provides that?
He is. Yes, he is the one that is providing the current version that we're using. As I've always said, I'm always testing something. Stay tuned. I'm not done testing it. So that's why you haven't heard me say anything else about it. But yes, what Brandon has provided is exactly what I'm referring to when I say that. And I'm always trying to make things another level better because, more revenue. Duh. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
No problem. Talk to you soon. All right. Looks like we have a couple of more questions, this time from Facebook. We have, who is this? This is Chris is asking, hey, Jay, how important is it to have central air? Interesting. I understand that it can help with energy costs, but does not having it affect revenue significantly in your experience? Got it. Okay, so remember, Chris, one, you're in Houston, bro. It's kind of like, humid. So you might want to, I don't know, consider. All right. And it's not like you're saying not having central air. And that's really what I want to make sure that we're being distinct about. If you're saying I'm going to have no AC whatsoever, that's one thing. If you're just saying I'm going to have, I'm just going to have window units, that's something completely different. So long as you have some sort of air conditioning, I'm fine. I don't think you're going to have an issue as long as you have some sort of air conditioning. If you have no air conditioning, that just screams problem. Because remember, you're a review-driven business, and as soon as one person sweats all night, that's not going to go good. So, and you can use evaporative coolers, of course, to help, but I would, especially in a market like Houston, I would be afraid, like very afraid. Now, if the building doesn't currently have AC at all, ask the landlord to put it there. Like, straight up, dude. There's nothing wrong with that either. So hopefully that makes some sense. Because, I ain't coming to Houston with no AC. That's all I'm going to say. That ain't happening. Anyway, if you've got a question, hit us up, 417-352-2274. I'm enjoying using the new toys that we've got. I'm going back over to our Facebook group with our members here, getting some more of their questions. Rafa, hey, Jay, when people smoke inside, does Vivint carbon monoxide go off? It can and usually does. I just had the fire department show up to a unit because their fire alarm went off due to high levels of carbon monoxide. Guess said they're cooking, but I've never had the carbon monoxide go off instead of the smoke alarm because of cooking. Correct. That's all I'm going to say. And Rafa, again, if you're labeling your devices, because see here one of the things I hope you did inside of a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom even. I will label the COs so that I can tell, was it the CO in the kitchen or in the living area, or was it the CO in the bedroom? Because those are two completely different situations. So if it's the CO in the bedroom, come on, man. You weren't cooking in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that'll help you as well. Hey, Luana, Kendall Stock, what is going on? How are you doing? Steve, how are you? Zach, what's going on? Crystal, Harold, what's up, dude? If you guys got a question, call in 417-352-2274. And I see, look at this. Davy June decides to ask a question today. He is asking, hey, Jay, have you gone over yet what you will be doing with your LA listings after November 1st? I haven't. I'm assuming I think I know what you're talking about. I think what you're asking really is because of the enforcement of the ordinances in LA. I think that's what you're referring to. And I will say this. I will say it a couple of ways. In essence, not much is changing, okay, because we are constantly working at getting direct bookings from, as I've mentioned, insurance, and making sure that our networking is such that we have the ability to keep units filled. Also, I've done a lot of demographic research, and depending on your location, I think I'm not expecting it to be too challenging for certain locations to still be able to obtain enough business at the 30-day mark. I mean, just go and look at, what is their name? Oakwood. Go look at any of the Oakwood buildings. They actually have buildings that they own in the LA area. Go look at any of the Oakwood buildings. Look at their occupancy and availability, and I think you'll understand what I'm referring to. So hopefully that answers your question there, Davey. But if any one of you guys have a final question, feel free to go ahead and dial in. Oh, you know what? I didn't even check. Do we have any? Okay, no one's there. Perfect. All right. Call in 417-352-2274. As I said earlier, for those of you who got here late, my mom has a special request, and I'm hoping you are willing to help. Specifically, I'm calling out to the students because I know the system that you're running, and it'll be great. But she wants to come to Atlanta. So I'm hoping one of you is willing and able to work with my mom so she can have her first trip to Atlanta. Her and a couple of friends want to come out there for Labor Day weekend. So that's the 30th through the 2nd, I believe. And she's never been. So obviously, you got to take her to Gladys Knights. All right. So don't even play about that. And the more food places, the better, but let her find out what the ATL is all about. So if that's you and you're in one of the student groups, then please, she's tagged, she's actually in the group. So you'll be able to easily communicate with her. And if it's not, then just send us an email at info@cashflowdiary.com. That would be great. Oh my goodness. Everyone, let's, I'm pretty excited about all the things that we are up to and how we're doing our best to improve. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that we give Megan a nice round of applause for helping us out today, because it was her first time working through the system and figuring it all out. We were all figuring it out together. We absolutely love what's going on. If you find yourself in the mode where you've been wondering, how on earth can I become a bigger, better, badder version of myself? What on earth am I going to do with my job, or how am I going to retire, and how all of those things? We at Cashflow Diary, we've been here for a number of years, and what we do is we honestly help build, create, train entrepreneurs. We help them understand things like that particular formula. How do leads, customers, margin, frequency equal your growth potential? Most importantly, how you can take advantage of that so that you have additional revenue coming in. We help you build those systems, and that's what I get excited about, So if you want, we have a podcast in iTunes. Go to cashflowdiarypodcast.com and take a listen. See if you like, and if so, don't forget to come on back. Anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It's that time where I get to say goodbye to you and all of my friends. I thank you for taking the time to allow us to influence you however we've been able to, and look forward to talking to you guys soon. Until next time.